Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's session, we will explore the process of generating multiple key pairs for an Linux EC2 instance. A key pair is a set of security credentials that you use to prove your identity when connecting to an Amazon EC2 instance. A key pair is a combination of public key and a private key. The public key remains with AWS while the private key is retained by the customer. AWS encrypts the password using the public key, and as a customer, you decrypt it with the private key to establish a connection to an EC2 instance through SSH protocol. Anyone who possesses your private key can connect to your EC2 instances, so it's important that you store your private key in a secure place. Amazon EC2 supports ED25519 and RSA keys for Linux instances, and we can have up to 5,000 key pairs per region. Now, what if you want to create multiple key pairs? Perhaps for security compliance? Some security standards or regulations may require the use of multiple key pairs for specific purposes. Or you might periodically rotate keys for better security. During the transition period, you could associate both the old and new keys with the instance to ensure a smooth transition without disrupting the process. Emergency access, having a backup key pair can access as a contingency plan. If you lose access to the primary key pair, you could use a backup key pair to regain access and rectify the situation. Third-party access, if you need to grant temporary access to a third party, say to a consultant or a vendor, you can create a temporary key pair for them without compromising the primary access credentials. Granular access control. Different key pairs can be assigned to different users or entities, allowing for granular access control. Now let's go through a step-by-step tutorial on associating multiple key pairs for an EC2 instance. Firstly, let's create two key pairs named primary and backup. In order to create a key pair, go to EC2 dashboard, and under the AWS resources, find the key pair and click on Create a Key Pair. Provide the key pair name as primary and select the .pem as an extension and click on Create a Key Pair. Now store the private key in one of the folders. Similarly, create another key pair named Backup. .pem as extension, create key pair. Now store in the same folder. We have created two key pairs and the private keys are downloaded, as you can see here. So we have created two key pairs and downloaded the private keys. So we created the primary key pair and we downloaded the private key of the primary and the private key of the backup also. Now let's launch an EC2 instance with the primary key pair. To launch an instance, go to EC2 dashboard again, go to the instances and click on Launch Instance. Now provide the tag as EC2 multiple key pairs. Choose an Amazon Linux 2 AMI. T2 micro as instance type. And under the key pair, select the primary. And with the remaining default options, click Launch Instance. Okay, and you can see the instance in pending state. Now, when you launch an EC2 instance using the key pair, AWS stores the public key of the primary to the EC2 instance. Okay, now using the private key, we can connect it to this EC2 instance. I'm using Git bash to connect to an EC2 instance. In order to connect, run the command ssh-i, the pem file, EC2 user at the public IP address of the EC2 instance. and type yes to confirm the connection. So before you do any operations, let's update the EC2 instance. Okay, there is nothing to update now. So the public key stored in the EC2 instance can be seen in authorized keys file. Okay, so we can access that file by running the given command. Okay, now this is the public key which you can see here. If you need to connect to the EC2 instance with the backup key also, you must have the public key of the backup in the EC2 instance. Now let's generate the public key of the backup by running the command SSH keygen -y-f and then the key pair name. So our key pair name is backup. Now this is the public key of this PEM file. Now copy this and paste it to the EC2 instance. Save the file and exit from the instance. So you can just say exit. Okay, now the connection is closed. Now the backup public key is being copied to the EC2 instance. Now you should be able to connect it to the EC2 instance either using the primary key or the backup key. Now you can check by running the command SSH-i. Now let me use the backup PEM file. EC2 user at the public IP address of the instance. You see, I'm able to connect to the EC2 instance using the backup.pem. Now let's connect to the EC2 instance using the primary also. Okay, so I'm able to connect to the EC2 instance using primary PEM file and the backup PEM file. So we created two key pairs, primary and backup. We launched an EC2 instance using the key pair. We connected to the instance. We generated the public key for the backup. We copied to the EC2 instance and connected to the EC2 instance using the backup key. Okay. So similarly, we can add multiple keys to the same EC2 instance. Thank you.